91% isopropyl alcohol from the drugstore. Let's give it a try. Okay, this is try number 3. Now, I could just declare victory right up front, but that wouldn't be very fair because I haven't covered all the bases. One reason why I'm doing this is I took the heat in the red bottle, put it in a container, was going to dilute it to make it 70%, and I noticed when I got it in a container that you could see through that it's yellow. And I think the gentleman that said they put glycerin in it hit it right on the head. I'm pretty sure that this says glycerin in it, and that may be the reason why heat in the red bottle is so nasty. So I went to the drugstore and I got some 91% isopropyl, and you can see right through this. So let's put it in a bottle and try it on all these different stoves and see how it works. I'll get set up and then I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, now I just took the lid off this and was going to break the seal, but for the non-believers, there's the seal. It hasn't been broken yet. You can see. Okay, so we'll start from there. So that proves, as long as I stay on camera here, that I'm not cheating, because, you know, I'm not to be trusted. Okay, I'm going to put it in this 2-ounce bottle, which fits onto my heat bottle nipple cap, and I think it does anyway. Yeah, it does. Yep. Okay. Phew, that smells like rubbing alcohol. Okay, no question there. Okay, I get my hand dried off here a little bit. I dumped it all over myself, and I'll fill up the stove. Yep, that's a leaker, if I ever saw one. There we go. Didn't have the cap on tight enough. Now, if you think isopropyl alcohol seems to be maybe a sticking point with me, that would be because, probably a couple of times a week I'll get an email from somebody who's condemning my stove, and after several emails back and forth and all that good stuff, I finally find out, usually, I got to get some matches, that the reason why they're condemning the stove is that they went to the drugstore and got some 70% rubbing alcohol, and that's what they're using in it. In other words, they didn't read the directions. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now that's better, but I'm going to tell you, that's still going to smut a pot all up. So that's not the answer. I still think it's better than the heat, but I can tell you right now already, just what little bit I've done here, that, yeah, smut all over the pot, all over the bottom of it, especially on the sides where it goes up around the sides. So in that stove, regular 91% ISO, not so much. So let's set that off to the side, wipe off the bottom of this pot, and try it in an atomic, which is a stove that runs on gas, runs on the alcohol after it's turned to a gas. Okay. We'll primer up here, and that's not easy out of a bottle this big, but we'll get it done. Okay, and then we'll put some in it. Now I emptied this all out and dried it out ahead of time, so we wouldn't be cross-contaminating anything. So, there we go. Okay, let's give this her day in court. Not real flammable stuff. You notice it doesn't hoof when you light it. It just kind of slowly creeps around. Now I think you'll find, and I know this sounds crazy, but if you take this 91% and dilute it down to like 60 or 70%, it won't smut up your pots nearly so much. Regular rubbing alcohol that I've used, 70%, although it does smut up your pots, not nearly as much as the 91%. I'm not sure this is going to, well, this might go. This may go. This is not a good omen for, I'm not sure that that's even going to light. I may have to blow that out and prime it again. Yeah, I can just dribble a little right off the side of the stove here. Probably get it going again. There we go. That gives you some idea of what poor quality this fuel is for alcohol stoves. It won't even pry them out. Now, isopropyl does, if I understand it correctly, have a lot more BTUs per pound or whatever. The problem is getting enough oxygen to it so that it'll burn cleanly. This doesn't burn a lot different than gasoline does. And I'm sure somebody makes a stove that will burn this, something that has somehow has some way can introduce more oxygen. But for these little alcohol stoves, I think you better stay with methanol. Okay, I've got that burning, and I've cleaned off the bottom of my pot. Now, if I put this right down within ½ inch, it burns relatively blue. But the flame is so small that I can tell you right now, and it's going to go out. And that basically gave me no problem at all. But the flame was so small that you could tell there wasn't any heat coming up from it. So I'm going to do this again, let this blossom back out here again, and put it up high enough so that the flame can, although in this stove it's not performing that well, it's not coming right up and jetting out the way it should. It's kind of meek, but we'll put it up here where it can get a decent flame. And we'll see whether we're building any smut or not. Yeah, we are. It's, see how easy that blew out? You can see that it is starting to smut up, and after it's sat there for 8 minutes, it would be a lot like an aspet tab. It would be nasty. So, no, 91% either way. Will it work? Yes. Is it going to produce a lot of smut? Yeah, it is. Does it work well in alcohol stoves? No, it doesn't. Does it work good in alcohol stoves that run off of gas, the gases from the alcohol? No, it actually runs better in the wick stoves. It burns better, which is understandable. It doesn't work very good in this at all. It never really blossoms out. The flame isn't that hot, and it goes out very easily, and it produces a lot of smut. So I'm going to say 91% alcohol, produces a lot of soot, doesn't work that well, not recommended unless you're right up against it and you've got nothing else to use. So that ends our experiment number 3. I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and more important than anything, be nice, leave no trace, and have a really great day. Bye-bye.